Hey everybody, it's Aaron and welcome back to the House of Aaron. Alright you guys, I'm Aaron. Welcome back to the house where we talk news, celebrities, and hot topics. It is Monday, so you already know what's going on. We are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think this is episode 4. Yes, episode 4. Like I said last week, I don't know the name of this episode either because I really don't be doing that much research, okay? I just watch the show and then give my opinion on the show, okay? So I don't have all the details. Oh, and if you are looking for the type of review where I go over the whole episode and every detail about what happened, I'm not gonna go and give you a play-by-play, okay? This is not ESPN. So yeah, let's get into some things. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's get right into it. Okay, wait. Before we get into the Real Housewives, there was 2 pieces of information that I did want to share on camera before we get any further. Okay, so listen up, everybody, come close. I felt like everybody should know. So I believe that there are 16 people running for president right now. Everybody from Joe Biden to Elizabeth Warren all the way down to the bottom with Tom Steyer and Marianne Williamson, okay? And people have been dropping out, like Beto dropped out, Kristen Gillibrand, but people are also still getting into the race, okay? So I was scrolling on the shade room this morning and I saw this, okay? Michael Bloomberg is officially running for president for 2020. If you could tell by this picture, this man, he looks like a goofball, okay? In the words of Cat Williams, this man looks like a goofball and I will not be voting for him, okay? There's no issue with people joining into the race, but I'm kind of like over it at this point. I already know who I'm gonna cast my ballot for. There's 3 people in mind that I would vote for in the primaries, okay? Her name is Marianne, her name is Elizabeth, and her name is Kamala. If you're not one of them 3, sorry, but you don't have my vote. Okay, moving right along. I also did want to put up another piece of information that I got from the shade room. Post Malone has won an American Music Award for favorite rap and hip hop album. Well deserved. I know a lot of people in the comments were super upset because, you know, he's a white boy, he sings, he's a pop star, but he's winning a hip hop award. And I'm only gonna let it slide this one time because I really fuck with Post Malone. If you haven't listened to his album already, this is kind of like an obsession segment. If you haven't already, go ahead and listen to his album, Hollywood is Bleeding, because it's so dope. All right, so let's get into the Real Housewives of Atlanta review. The show was really good. It really picked up during episode 4 and I was super excited because I'm actually really getting into it and we're finally getting some juice, okay? We're getting some tea. So the first thing that stood out to me was at the very beginning of the episode when you had Noelle, Cynthia, and Eva chilling at the Bravo Flow in New York Pride. It's crazy. People are out in the streets, they're partying, everybody has their rainbow on, and it's just a great time. You can see that Nene is on the other side of the flow and she looks at Cynthia and she's like, oh, I guess I gotta go over there and talk to Cynthia. Now, you guys, this was extremely awkward. Like, it was the most awkward thing. Like, I've actually been in a situation where I had fell out with somebody and I went to an event that I knew that they were gonna be at. And so I had already prepped myself and psyched myself up to be like, okay, I'm gonna speak to them. And I know that it could be super awkward, that it could be super weird, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So, you know, Nene took one for the team and she was like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna say hi to her. I'm gonna be the bigger person in this moment because Nene is not the bigger person in this situation, even though she is the bigger person. No tea, no shade. So Nene went over there and she spoke, I think she spoke to Noelle first. She was like, Noelle, hey girl, like, are you home for the summer? Noelle is like, yeah. And then she speaks to Cynthia, hey Cynthia, what's up? Cynthia's like, you look good, Miss Leaks, okay? Nene Leaks was like, thank you girl. And then she left, okay? So it was not a big deal. It was not a big thing. Afterwards, Noelle was speaking to her mom and she was like, Mom, like Nene spoke to me, is that okay? And Cynthia was like, yeah girl, like that's okay, she should speak to you, okay? If she don't speak to my daughter, then we really got real problems in here. But I thought that was cute. It was awkward. I really can't wait until we really start to see them get into some things when it comes to Nene's and Cynthia's relationship. And that brings me to this next scene where Marlo and Nene are having lunch and Marlo is really pressing Nene like, girl, you're wrong, Cynthia's wrong, y'all both need to apologize for each other. How on earth are you guys really gonna throw away an 8 to 9 year relationship? relationship. Like, that's so less than smart. And Nene gets really upset about it. It's like, Nene, why are you getting upset, girl? Like, what's tea, sis? Like, why do you... Nene feels like she's above it all. Like, she doesn't do anything wrong, and that really irks my nerves and it pisses me off. I feel like Nene, she's upset because Cynthia has went on press and she has done magazines and she's done blogs talking about Nene. Okay, so let me just get this straight. All of the housewives, they do press. They go to People magazine, okay? They go to Madame Noir. They go to the Shade Room and they talk, okay? Candy does her speak on it. That's what they do, okay? I'm assuming that the producers encourage Bravo stars to do press when their show is on air. Like, that's just the name of the game. Y'all had an explosive finale, okay? Y'all had the reunion to promote. So why wouldn't Cynthia do a press run? Like, they all do that. And when you go on a press run for these shows, they ask you about Nene. So it's like, is she supposed to say no comment? Like, no, y'all not cool right now, so I'm really finna say how I feel. And Nene is also upset because Cynthia has mentioned the fact that Nene is a toxic friend. Nene, you can't be upset at that because at the end of the day, it's the truth. I do feel like you're a toxic friend. Like I mentioned last week, you literally brought a therapist on the show and then turned on your own therapist, Dr. Jeff. You brought Tanya on the show and then turned on your own friend, Tanya. I'm not going to be surprised if she turned on Yvonne and Marlo at some point in time. She has turned on Marlo, okay? Remember at the Bailey Bowl a couple of years ago when Marlo was calling her Donald Trump wig and toupee this and toupee that, and she was chasing her around the baseball field? Nene's hair did look a hot ass mess back then, but that's not the point. The point is, Nene, you're a toxic friend and you feel like if you feel slighted on any level, then it's over. You excommunicate that person from your life, and that's not fair. Friendships are evolving, okay? You may get upset, but you don't throw them away. Maybe you have a little distance, maybe you take a little break, but she really throws away her friends when she feels slighted. Nene also has to be the top dog, okay? If anybody else is getting more attention than Nene, then it's an issue, and I feel like that's so annoying, okay? So Nene, you are a toxic friend. Marlo is telling you right. The only thing that I don't agree with Marlo on is, Marlo, in this situation, Nene is wrong. I don't feel like Cynthia did anything wrong. Cynthia could apologize for maybe not telling Nene that Kenya might show up to the party, but at the end of the day, that's a courtesy, and that's not something that has to be done because that is Cynthia's party at the end of the day, so she can invite whoever she wants to invite, okay? And that's just that on that. That's just that on period. Moving on, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to this episode is Kenya and Marc's relationship, and we find out that it's very toxic and it's a lot worse than I thought. And at first, while I was watching this episode, I was like, damn, like, I feel like this is a fake marriage. I feel like this was only arranged. I feel like they both just wanted a kid, so they decided to save face for the cameras and get married, and this was their whole plan to get divorced in the first place because they didn't really want to be with each other. They just wanted to have a child. But as I started watching more and more, and I really started to see Kenya get emotional about, everything, I was like, dang, maybe this is real. Like, I feel like this was the first time I ever felt for Kenya during her whole time on the show since season 5. When she was going through that whole situation with her mom and her mom not wanting her and all of that, I didn't feel for Kenya because I thought Kenya was a bitch. I thought she was being very evil. And so I didn't sympathize or empathize with Kenya because I felt like she was a terrible person. Now that I feel like Kenya has softened up a bit, she has a child, this is the first time in all of her 6-7 seasons that I've ever felt any type of emotion for her. But she's basically sitting there with Candy and she's expressing how I feel like I'm playing second fiddle to my own daughter. She's basically jealous of her relationship with her man and their daughter, and it's quite sad because you don't want to be jealous of your own kin. Like, that's crazy. But Marc isn't showing her any attention. Their sex drive has gone down the toilet. Like, their marriage is literally dissipating as we speak. Candy was like, well, why don't you tell him this stuff? Why don't you communicate this to him? And she's like, Candy, I've been trying, but every time I bring it up, it turns into an argument. And I think she's alluding to the fact that he be crossing lines and he might be calling her out of her name and things of that nature. And so Marc does seem like that type because, like I said, something is very sus about that man, if you get my drift. Okay, I'm trying to be okay. Oh, that's sweet. Somebody just texted me, good afternoon. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you, boo. But yeah, so I really feel for Kenya, and I really feel like, you know, she deserves the world. She deserves a man. She deserves the baby. She deserves the career. But sometimes we have to understand that we're not going to have it all at once. Sometimes we just have to have the career and move and, you know, run with that. Okay. Sometimes we have to take the baby and maybe leave the relationship in the rearview mirror. Sometimes we got to just take what God has given us, praise him, and move on. Okay. That's all you can do. So that was it for this episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, I will be back on Wednesday and Friday with new videos, and then next Monday with another RHOA review. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of my social media links, my Twitter and Instagram, will be down in the description box below, and my vlog channel, Life of Aaron. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tell me what you guys think about this episode. Post Malone winning the AMA and Michael Bloomberg thinking he could be president, okay, with that goofy ass picture. So I will see you guys later. Love you guys. Don't forget to create a great day.